Alright, the Reds, it is Talking Reds on Monday. It's me, Gareth, Roberts, John Gibbons with me. We're going to have a chat about the Reds. We are the Devil's Club. We are the luckiest club in the world, the spawniest club in the world. I've had a fantastic time reading all this over the weekend, you know, really enjoyed myself. We are now 24 games unbeaten in the Premier League, 7 out of 7 this season in the league, 16 wins in a row. You've probably heard all that. It's a great time to be supporting the Reds. There's been some great shouts on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this one, Gibbo. I've got to start with this, to be honest. I like calling himself Harvey 10101, a Spurs fan. And he tweeted, fuck off, with the crying laughing emoji, and put, this Liverpool team could fall into a crocodile pit and come out with a Lacoste sponsorship.
See, that's funny to me, man. That is funny. Like, that's not, you know, I'm sure you've got some others that are kind of slightly more angry, but that, you know, that's
the Evertonians are angry.
That's a decent joke. That's so fair play. Yeah, I mean, it does feel that obviously this season we've played some great football, but there's a couple of times where, you know, we've had to dig deep, shall we say, and Saturday was one of them. I felt like, to be honest, the goal was you know, we were starting to put the pressure on. I think the Luigi sub made a big difference. So you can't, you know, obviously after the goal we kind of sit back. So you can't say, oh, we definitely wouldn't have scored if it wasn't for that. But the keeper throwing one in certainly helps.
It did help, didn't it? I mean, you know, there's chances there. Mane has a couple that he should score in the first half. Mo as well. Yeah. And it's kind of, you know, on another day maybe it's sort of 3-1 or whatever. But obviously everyone's concentrating on the goalkeeper's mistake, which is obviously hilarious because he's on loan from Manchester United. And in fact, there was a piece in the MEN at the end of last week talking about how he was relishing playing Liverpool. Okay. And then quote some Wilder saying, you know, if the Liverpool fans give it to him, he might give them a little bit back. Didn't really turn out that way, boys, did it? On all this, though, on the sort of luck thing, the spawn thing, the Devil's Club thing, there's an amazing stat that I read over the weekend, which is that when Leon Clark missed from 6 yards in the final moments there, obviously he should score, that was classed as a big chance by Opta. And that's 23 big chances that Liverpool have conceded, where opponents have only actually scored 2.
Right.
Now, when I had to think about this, I thought, is there a reason behind this? And is it because we're boss and because we're getting in everyone's heads about being boss, almost, do you think maybe like some of the players, opposition players are like, shit, if I get a chance, I've got to take it because we're only going to get 1 or 2. You heard Wilder talk about it after the game. He was saying, you know, maybe Liverpool had a bit of an off day there, and if they're having an off day, we've got to take advantage, and we didn't.
Yeah, I think pressure comes into it, obviously feeling like, you know, belief as well, you know, feeling like, you know, we're going to score against these. Like, we have got the best defensive record in the league. Again, after all the talk over the summer about it looking a bit jittery and stuff like that, it's the best defensive record in the league. And that does get into your head, I think, as a striker. But also, of course, you've got to give a credit to the goalkeeper as well, because he's obviously been in goal for the majority of those. You know, there was obviously a bit of time against Norwich where it was Alisson, but generally speaking, it's actually again for that chance he's up big in his face, isn't he? Yeah, and he's really you know, he stands up tall. That's something I have noticed from him. You know, you saw that for the Tabby Abraham one at the weekend as well against Chelsea the week before. He's like, well, you're going to have to beat me. Yeah. And that's what he does really well, and that's been impressed with him. And yeah, it's not a great miss, but you know, if you actually analyse it, I think, and looked at where he was, there's probably not as much of the goal he can put it in as you think, really, because the goalie's right at his face, and when someone's coming at you like that, you know, it does put you off.
And he's been brilliant. I think it's fair to say that he's been brilliant. I've seen someone's tweet over the weekend as well. You know, he's literally better than Pickford. And I was made up with that because, you know, Pickford, I think, should do better on the free kick from Mahrez. And meanwhile, you know, we're loving Adrian's work after a couple of early mistakes. What else have we got? I don't know if you spotted this one as well. A lot of love for Twitter today from me on my own agenda here. But I spotted this morning. I just loved it. I just thought it just made me feel good that he's our manager. A picture of Klopp in Formby walking his dog, and he's got one of them little sticks, you know, for picking the ball up so you don't get the dog's groch on your hand.
You can get some good distance on them as well, can't you?
So he was walking his dog. There was a girls' football match taking place, and apparently he was happy to, you know, chat to them and pose for pictures and all that. And he's just there, like in like a red coat, Liverpool cap on. And he just strikes you as a man totally comfortable in his life and being Liverpool manager, and not arsed, not trying to be all low profile, literally got an LFC cap on. And I just saw it and thought, it's Boss, that. He's a great fella, isn't he?
No, there's apparently he really likes obviously living up in Formby, and he's proper part of the community. There's a story I've heard as well, which is there's one of the pubs, I won't say the name of the pub, because there'll be buses turning up, but there's a pub he goes to in Formby, and particularly on quiz night, and he'll just sit at his own at the bar, and then he'll mind his own business in a bit, and then he just can't help himself, and he'll end up joining a team, like, he'll just go, like, he'll like whisper a few answers out, and then he'll just go, yeah, and he's just over there, like, just trying to win, like, he's got obviously that winning mentality in him, and so that apparently he's done that, like, a few times, so yeah, he seems to enjoy it up there, he's got the woods for the dog and all that, and I think, it is a bit more relaxed up there. It's obviously a bit more intense in Liverpool with the footy, but up there it's a good way of life for him, and that's important as well, because you want him to feel like he can relax away from the game, because that's obviously important for him. Hopefully staying longer than his contract, but also going into work. We all need to be able to switch off, don't we, and feel like he can do it up there, then, Boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you probably don't know this, but it is important to us. It is International Podcast Day today. And
it's the big one.
Why is that important to us? Well, it's literally what we're all about. This is how we started it off. It was just one podcast a week, once upon a time, in a studio across the other side of the city. And look where we are now. We're doing videos, we've got a website, we're doing writing, we're doing all kinds of live shows and what have you, merchandise to full it. And if you don't know, we do 2 free podcasts a week. So if you've never had a go, you can just dip in and have a go, and you can have a go for nothing, and you might like it. We also film them on a Monday as well, so today's podcast will be out later, both to listen to and to watch, whatever you're into really. And then if you like it and you want to check out, you want some more, we'll check out the subscription options, the various options on theanfieldapp.com. And a clip now from one of our premium shows, which is part of the subscription, the post-match pint.
This is what good sides do. Good sides create their own look. They wait for their chances. That they have composure in the face of perceived adversity. If you're looking at it from the outside in, and I think that was just another example of Liverpool being able to do that today. Finding the moments where they can create a bit of their look, and what Dan's saying before about the fatigue. I thought when Divock Origi came on, there must be such immense fatigue for them Sheffield United players, because they've got Mane, Salah and Firmino running them ragged all game, shifting side to side, and then Divock Origi comes on and you're thinking, well, he's going to start pushing us back now. I'm trying to go forward and overlap my wing back, and he's trying to come into the midfield, and the midfield's trying to drop back. But now in transition, Liverpool are going to have a lad who can just bomb down the wing, and we're going to have to account for that, and maybe we're going to have to change a bit of our thinking live in the game, which Chris Wilder's not told us to do in the face of that. So I think Liverpool do create their own look in the game. Liverpool take their look in the game as well with obviously the goal. But I think having this squad and having this group of players now, they're so used to that, and they're so used to just taking it out of teams. And I think that was another example of that today.
Okay, little clip there from the post-match pint. We do those after every single Liverpool game, home and away, in Europe, etc. Just immediate reaction to the game. We do an immediate reaction podcast as well. So again, if you prefer to listen, there's something for you. If you prefer to watch, there's something for you as well. So check it out, theanfieldapp.com. I'm bringing back the papers for today only. I just got up early this morning and got them and had a bit of a read through. So I've pulled out some little bits for us to talk about Gibbo. First off, back of the Mail, the Reds blame the FA for cup gaff, say Matt Hughes and Dominic King. This is, I'm sure you all know by now, there's an investigation taking place after Liverpool fielded, they might have fed him, fielded Pedro Chiravella in the game against MK Dons. Apparently he was ineligible to be fielded because international clearance hadn't gone through. The Reds are saying this is the FA's fault. The FA are saying it's up to the club to check. The AFL are saying Liverpool could end up getting kicked out. I've got to be honest with you, and maybe I'm just being a bit of a tit here, but I kind of think it's win-win this. Because if we stay in, everyone's going to fume even more and be like, oh, so the rule should have been that they get lashed out and they've stayed in. And then if we do get lashed out, well, it's going to free up a few days in the schedule for us to win the league. Yeah,
it's a bit of a shame for the people who are obviously looking forward to the Arsenal game. Yeah. It's a home game, a chance for some younger people or different people to get in the ground. So that is a bit of a shame. But I'm with you, Gareth. I've never wanted to win the League Cup more now than this year.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've never. This is. If there's ever a year to win the League Cup, it is this one. I'd start Chiravella in the final.
Well, we shall see what happens. There is no firm news on that now. There is, as I say, an investigation going on. Quite what that involves, we don't really know, but we shall see as we go on. There is a column in the Mail also by Mike Keegan called Sports Agenda. He's very serious looking on his picture there. But there's just a little thing that caught my eye, which was like Manchester United are offering fans the opportunity to donate the season tickets for matches they can't make to the club's foundation. So far, punters have handed over 500 tickets with the season less than 2 months old, with seats to play, with officials then hand out those tickets to local schools and grassroots clubs, that particularly for the game in the Carabao Cup against Rochdale. The reason I bring that up is that I know that same idea is being pitched to Liverpool. You know, those fan forums that were set up. Yeah, I was on one of those, and those ideas were discussed. And I like to think that that's seeping into Liverpool's management. And I know, it takes some graft to sort these things out, and it's easy for us to say type of thing. But I think something similar would be great if you could send the club a text or whatever technology allows, and say I can't make it, and then that then means your ticket can be donated to a kid that would never be able to afford to go to the match. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and I think people would be up for it because you know what it's like yourself, Gareth, as well. Like, sometimes it's the case now. Everyone just wants to go, but there's been some games where, I've generally struggled to find someone to go on mine, do you know what I mean, when it's late or whatever, and everyone, is kind of sorted, and so this would be a way around it. I know also what they've talked about is there's a certain amount of people each game who just don't turn up. Yeah. And so, for them, so every game you'll notice the attendance goes up and down, even though it's sold out. Well, that's because Liverpool, unlike Arsenal, for example, counts the people through the turnstiles. So that's somewhere between, I think, 500 to 1,000 people every game who aren't turning up for kind of one reason or another. But I think hopefully if you could get half of them to be able to some of them obviously would be last minute stuff, traffic or whatever, or illness and stuff, but some of those people will know in advance. So if you could encourage those people to, who maybe don't have the kind of network of fans they can pass to, or just worry about it, because obviously people are getting the season tickets taken off them now and stuff like that. Yeah. You can encourage some of those, at least half of them, then wouldn't that be brilliant to get some people in the ground who can't normally get there?
It'd be spot on. Another thing, just back to the footy here, in one of the papers, the Mail it was again, there was just a small thing from Lawrence and just a little comment piece, but he was saying that he still thinks the 88 side is better than this one. And so I was, I read it because I thought, okay, I'm interested to hear what you've got to say here. And he went for, they went longer unbeaten. They went 31 games unbeaten. Obviously Liverpool could reach that figure, but they've got some tough games ahead of us, obviously. But his comment that caught my eye was, he said that side had more flair and more match winners. And obviously they have Beardsley, Barnes, Aldridge, McMahon. But we've got quite a few match winners here, haven't we?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the shout I'd make if I was comparing them, but look, isn't it brilliant that we're even having that conversation? Do you know what I mean? Like, for people sort of our age, if you like, it was always like, you'd have a good team, but someone would be, oh yeah, they're not as good as they were, you know what I mean? It was something we all hate. So the fact is now that we get to debate, whether these teams are up there with not just good Liverpool teams, but the very best, is absolutely plus.
Yeah, what I love about it as well is that, once upon a time as well, it would be the likes of us or people older than us telling younger fans about these great sides, and they would, you could tell they were a bit like, my dad's on one again. Whereas they've genuinely got their own team now that they can be really proud of, that are challenging for the lead, that have won the European Cup, that will no doubt challenge for the European Cup again. And on that subject, we are of course playing Salzburg this week on Wednesday. There'll be loads of build up to that as ever, video, podcast, writing, all the usual. Just an interesting piece in the Times with their American coach Jesse Marsh. Hope I'm saying that right. Obviously poor at pronouncing people's names as discussed previously, but it's interesting because this always seems to happen to Liverpool. It's just that he's played in the city, he's played at Anfield in a youth tournament.
Oh really?
Yeah, and he ended up with a shirt but also he said not only did he get an away jersey, which he kept, he actually bent down and was picking up like dirt off the pitch and putting it in his pocket, going, I'm going to keep that, I've been to Anfield. Yeah. And why the stuff that he says in the thing beyond that, which is obviously a nice thing, he basically says that he really admires Klopp, really admires the football he plays, and his own philosophies are, guess what, gegenpressing, attack and football. He basically says we're the same, only Liverpool are better at it than we are. But he nevertheless, fair play to him, he says we're going to turn up at Wednesday and turn up on Wednesday and go for the win. which should make for a good game of football.
Yeah, it's a bit of a free hit for them now, haven't they? Because they won their first game and won it well. Yeah. So they might think, well, you know, we can go to Anfield if we get beat then sound. You know, they're the top seed, but you know, it's a bit of a chance for them to go for it. And as you say, 6-2 suggests that they are an attacking side. That's what they know, and so sticking with that's probably quite sensible as well. So makes for a good game. Probably helps Liverpool to have someone come out a little bit more rather than just kind of look to park the bus, if you like. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Wednesday, Champions League back at Anfield.
It'd be fantastic. European nights at Anfield are always special under the lights. All the cliches, but the cliches are there for a reason, because it's Bosch. Can't wait myself. Finally then, a couple of things in the Mirror. Back page of the Mirror, always a delight to see stuff like this. I don't know if you can see this fib out there, but if you can't see it, it is Petit, worst United team I've ever seen. Fantastic stuff. Obviously they're playing Arsenal tonight, but yeah, he just says like that. Basically the shite. He says, I don't recognise Manchester United anymore. They should scare their opponents, but they haven't done that for a long time. I'm very surprised because they're spending so much money. The biggest problem is the players, but the stability of the manager is an issue too. We believe things would be different after Sir Alex Ferguson departed, but we're talking about Manchester United. I think he missed our shit off the end of that last bit, but that's just superb for me. Again, you know, being our age and all that, we had all them years where it was like, these bastards won't go away, they just keep winning, sport. All the stuff we said at the top about Liverpool, basically, they were the Devils Club, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? They were the sporty bastards then.
But also, I remember when it was those headlines about Liverpool, you know, there was a game of Southampton and Alan Hansen said it was the worst Liverpool team he'd ever seen or whatever. So we've had all that, and then now we've got Laurel saying, well, are they as good as the 88 side? And yeah, lovely how things change, isn't it?
It's superb, and I just wanted to finish here. I always like to give a shout out to a sub-editor who's done his job well, because that was one I used to do once upon a time, and I really like the headline on the Liverpool Report, in the Mirror's pull out today. It's a grind of magic. Lovely work there. I see what you've done, because it was a grind, but it was boss. Liverpool won. We're all dead happy. Monday mornings are great when Liverpool have won at the weekend, particularly in the manner they did, because it seems to have got up everyone's nose. Long may it continue. That has been Talking Reds from myself and John. Up the Reds.